I hope you're well. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame consciousness. So this reading is for the new moon, which is on the 25th of September. That's in the UK at least, and it's in Libra. So new moons are masculine. They are about dissolving ego or anything egoic. So in relation to ego, I should say, which is also masculine. And Libra is a masculine sign, and it's also the sign of ruled by Venus. So it's also about love and romance, and it's kind of equivalent to the Knight of Cups, really, in terms of the tarot. It's very much a Knight of Cups because it's a man coming forward in terms of romance, or masculine, I should say. Coming forward, which could be a man or a woman, coming forward in terms of romance. It's also the sign of marriage. And this new moon that's in Libra is coming at the equinox as well. So it's the change of the seasons. So it's also about change, transformation, and they just say moving into a higher perspective, basically. So we've got the Ten of Cups jumping out, which, funnily enough, is all about home and relationship, happy families and marriage and unions and all that kind of stuff. It's an emotional card. It's very earthly emotions, so it's not really related to anything of higher consciousness. It's a very kind of mundane card of like day-to-day life, responsibilities, and just making a home, basically. It can even relate to cleaning the house. That's how mundane it is. So it's also 10, which is completion. So, and you can see the cups making like almost making a circle around the house, like a rainbow, really, even in the background. So it's very much a happiness card, and signifies that all is well, is what they're saying in terms of relationship. So that's what's jumping out. So I know you might be watching and thinking, well, all is not well in terms of relationship for me. But this is an outcome card. So it's going to be an outcome of all is well in terms of relationship. Whether that outcome is now is another matter. Maybe it is going to be now for some. Maybe for others it's not. Let's see what the other cards say. So we'll get them out. Just give them a quick more shuffle. A little bit more. Get a bit more juice flowing. Let's have a look. So I have just cleaned my house, funnily enough. Maybe some of you can relate to that. It's a new moon as well, so new moons are always very cleansing, and they're about new beginnings. Just after the new moon is about new beginnings. So you might be guided to like do some cleaning, throw out some stuff. That, get yourself organised a bit in the house or the garden or whatever. Could be that. Could also be some people guided to kind of look into moving home, starting a new home somewhere else, plans being made, especially as it's the change of the seasons, therefore about transformation, so a bit changing plans and that kind of stuff is what they're saying. It really, really, they're talking about it really, really being an earthly time, so it's a very matter-of-fact time. It's not really, like I say, about higher consciousness or anything that's like beyond your, they're saying beyond your control. So I feel like people are going to be guided into what appears to be making decisions. So, change will be thrust upon you by your vibrational self, and you will find yourself having come to terms with something, making a decision to go somewhere, or maybe even leave a job, to reorganise your life in some way. And they're saying smarten it up and brighten it up. So that would also mean making it easier, more streamlined, that kind of stuff, getting rid of some stuff. They're saying getting down to nuts and bolts. So it's like, what do you want in your life? What don't you want in your life? Getting rid of some things, and even maybe people and situations that you don't want in your life anymore. and they're being free to move into better things that might be available for you. And remembering as well that nothing is ever really choice, it's destined choice. So things that are coming along to you on your path, you will be guided into the right time to let go of other things to make way for those things that are coming along. Even though you might not even know those things are coming along, you'll still be guided into, it'll just be like, oh, I really feel like, this relationship, this friendship has run its course. I really feel like this job has run its course. I can't go anymore. Like feeling like you can imagine a wheel without a tyre just scraping along the road, like it's done. I can move no further in this direction. It's time for a new wheel and to get going again in the right direction, or just moving on, basically. So we've got Page of Pentacles, which is new things. It's a page, is a number one, and things showing up. And he's also very mundane. He is, although he's a page, he's like lower arcana. So he's kind of like mundane aspects of life, and he's a earth pentacles. So he's really earthly. So, and small things as well, not necessarily like huge moments of like, wow, but more like, like they say, this feeling of like, just got to get on with it, just got to move on, and just got to start something new. They're saying, let's see what's on the other side, let's see what's over the hill. So you might have a feeling of like, I just want to see if I do this, how it's going to look. Or I just want to see if this will fit with me, like maybe a new way of life, something like that. Could be a new way of dressing, or a new way of doing your hair even, or something that's just going to make you feel different and make you feel better and make you feel more alive, because it's very much like they say about an earthly energy this month. We won't be in Libra when the new moon comes, but we won't be in Virgo. We will be in Libra, but it's still just switching from Virgo into Libra, and it is the equinox, and it is therefore culmination, and it is also time to move on, and it is also something new coming along because it's a new season, and it is also something new because that's just what they're saying, and they're saying it is about relationship coming along as well, and working towards better relationship. And you remember that relationship always starts with the self. So first of all is always a better relationship with yourself, really. So to have a really good relationship with someone else, you've got to be in a really, really good relationship with yourself, and that is acceptance of self and everything that makes you up as you. So there isn't any kind of like picking on yourself or bullying yourself for whoever you have ever been, and who you are now, and who you maybe would like to be that you're not yet, because you're changing all the time, you're transforming all the time, you're growing all the time. You will have been many different versions of you so far, and you will be many different versions of you coming along. So you're not fully changed yet, you never fully stop changing. So just to accept whoever you are right now, really, and just know that you are a work in progress, and everything moves from you accepting yourself. So, and good relationships with others, and whether you want those relationships or not, they come along through you accepting yourself. You'll see it in very small ways. Like I say, it's really small, this card, even in interactions with people you don't even know. So if you're feeling good, and you wake up feeling good, and you get on with feeling good during the day, and you go out and you meet somebody, you'll have a really good interaction no matter who it is. But if you are not feeling great, if you're feeling low, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling like lost, if you're feeling like you don't want to be here, if you're feeling not happy with yourself, if you're feeling not happy with your life or others around you, you're going to notice that reflected in the interactions you have around you. So it's small. It works from the smallest point, the lowest point, to the highest point. So everything is a relationship. Every conversation is a relationship. As soon as you meet someone and you say something, that's a relationship. And I know we use that word to talk about more meaningful relationships, but it's everything is in relation to, even like your relationship to the stars and the sea and the sky and the birds and the trees. It's all relationships. So it's how you relate to everything around you, basically. So from the smallest to the highest. But this is about the small stuff, they're saying. We've got the Nine of Pentacles coming out. So she is the woman in her power, in her earthly power, who listens to higher self. But again, what we're talking about here is There's not some elaborate version of yourself that is you, your vibrational self, that you are like setting aside your human side for. You've got this, there is that kind of gradient where you run from like your earthly self to your highest self, but you've got everything encompassed in there of every version of consciousness there could possibly be. So some people skip onto a timeline which we'll call the spiritually narcissistic timeline, which means that they skip onto this timeline of believing that they are beyond their human self in a way that is actually detrimental to their spiritual progress, because they see themselves as a spiritual um, like entity, even though they're alive, and they kind of don't attach to their physical self in that way that because your physical life is your spiritual experience. So these daily things, like monks in monasteries, really, that like they put present moment awareness even to enter everything, like washing their socks and doing their laundry, and all these things that are really spiritual, these really like humble things. So spirituality comes from humbleness. It doesn't come from like setting aside just the goal to like be in the present moment and be at one with the present moment, however humble that present moment might be. So, exactly like they're saying, cleaning the house is a spiritual activity. If you're doing it at the time it feels like you should be doing it, and if you're doing it in a way that is transforming. So energy transforms from within you. That's what your vibrational self is. So as you're resolving the ego, which is what the new moon is about, it's about the masculine ego, you find that coming up inside of you. So for example, when I was cleaning this morning and the hoover got caught in the bath mat, which it always does, right, and start to pull the bath mat out of position when I just laid it down in the right position. And then I noticed something still on the floor, so I'm like, hoovering that, and I got the hoover caught on the bath mat and it started to move it again, and I got really angry. I had a complete flare up. This always happens. So I know the new moon's coming because that ego's coming up in me, like anger in relation to the smallest things, and then I've got that background voice that's saying, just let go. It's just a bath mat. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. So it's like, you might notice this coming up in you, what is like the dissolving of the ego through these really small, mundane aspects of life. Because again, it's the relationship with life, right? So anger is a relationship that you have with you can have with anything, right? So you dissolve it in relation to everything. And then when you're going to come into the magnificent, what we call, like everybody calls a twin flame reunion, that anger will not be coming up in that in that relationship, because you'll have seen it in so many forms in yourself, coming up in relation to so many things. You grow out of it, basically. You will have grown out of it, and you'll be like, yes, no, I don't like that in me. And not like having to fight it, just like, oh God, no, that's not me. So it will have kind of dissolved, and you just like grow out of it. You don't want to do it anymore. You're sick of yourself doing it, basically, in a very human way. I'm sick of being like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. And not being a challenge to not be like that. So it's completely conscious. It's the anger when you feel it, when it comes up in relation, it makes you conscious of it. So you can see yourself getting angry, and therefore you're aware of it, because it's only making things conscious that dissolves them. All right, next. Yes, the King of Wands is coming up. So this is masculine energy. So I'll just show you in case you need to see them. Got the Page of Pentacles. Got the Nine of Pentacles woman. So she's the woman that's very much in her earthly presence. Just rolling with the punches, basically. Going with the flow, whatever life brings. Like just getting hold of it. Whatever it needs doing, he's doing it. Just delivering life to every moment of life, basically, in whatever way. Like they say, like higher self is going to take care of you if you just take care of your life. And in that case, in that way, like anger will come up because it has to come up, has to come through you. So know that and accept that, and don't turn away from that, because that is what is spiritual narcissism, when you turn away from your own self and you pretend that you don't get angry. So that's really what that is. I'm always spiritual. I'm always up there. I'm above anger. I don't get angry. That's not true. Everybody gets angry, unless you're a spiritual narcissist, and you pretend you don't, right? But then you're like, argh. festering with anger in every single moment of the day, just like a lot of vicars that I went to a religious school. The vicar was like, ah, but pretending to be like so pious. Okay. King of Wands, and that is a masculine energy. So that's what we're dealing with. And this is really powerful stuff, right? And it's because it's a masculine sign of Libra, which is all about love, devotion, relationship, harmony in relationships. But harmony in relationship doesn't just happen. Harmony in relationship comes through lessons in how you relate, as I've already said, to yourself, to your life, to other people, to situations, to events, and just wearing out. And in twin flame process, you are wearing out that version of you that is your twin, because the twin is the masculine energy. So they are coming into a place of abundance inside themselves, which it means a place of feeling good. Abundance is feeling good, because abundance comes from feeling good, because it's a law of attraction, it's the power of manifestation. Everything comes from feeling good. So you're bringing them into that location by the dissolving of the anger that comes through you, that is them. So that's that there. So really strongly at this moon, because it is that Libra moon, and it's masculine, but it's love and it's devotion, and it's therefore devotion is how you serve, right? And devotion is prayer, but this is prayer. So twin flame process, if you like, is prayer. It's your devotional requirement, your devotional process. The sun, good. So all coming good. So you might just notice it's coming through kind of like a storm, like a summer storm. So it's not very short-lived, I feel. Maybe you see the anger. Maybe this is the time that you actually like, oh, there it is. That's it. Yeah, I know this side of me. This is not who I want to be. You also might notice your parents in that side of you, because you will have had parents that will have installed in you the programming that you're deleting. So just know that as well. Nothing is an accident. So whatever your relationship was with your parents, it had to be, and it was meant to be that, so that you could then dissolve whatever you need to dissolve that's caused any issues in you in relation to that. So there's a meaning behind everything that is not what it looks like on the surface. Ten of Swords, endings, and this is the mind as well, and it's the ego. So it's a really, really strong ending coming of the ego. This moon, that's right in the middle, that's the heart of the matter. Putting something to bed. The end of something inside of you, the death of it. The Lovers is coming out, divine love. So something making way for love, like they said at the beginning, you're clearing something out, making way for more love in your life, basically. Get one out here, judgment, destiny. So masculine energy, ending, and destiny. So you're clearing them out of you. So you imagine yourself as like an energy portal or doorway, and the masculine is coming through that doorway, that is you. So whatever it is they need to move through into their presence, their I am presence, there, which is there, I accept myself exactly as I am, and I'm fine exactly as I am, and we are all God. We're all connected to God. None of us are beyond each other. We're all this as equally as present. We're all as equally, rightfully and joyously here. None of us is, any different to each other, really, in that understanding. We're all vibrational beings having a human journey. So they're just walking through that door of this understanding of acceptance. That is the right to live, and the right to be alive, and the right to be who you are, and also be really like kind of proud of who you are, and feel really strongly alive, because a lot of the masculine is the death of the ego requires a lot of letting go, and it requires therefore a lot of letting go of expectation. The masculine has to let go of their expectations of their self. So anything that would confine them in a box, that would state that they are only one thing, and they only have one way that they can behave, and they have to adhere to certain protocols and certain strict laws and religions or doctrines. It's the breaking free of all of that. So, which is a lot of letting go for them. It's a lot of pushing through boundaries, and coming into like resolution of like letting their freak flag fly, and allowing themselves to be as crazy as they may seem to be, in disregard of all laws and rules that would stand in the way of them being exactly who they are, kind of a thing. So Yeah. So that's that destiny that's coming through this month. So it's masculine loving himself, I reckon, him or herself, because that's what Libra, masculine, all about love and relationship and devotion, which is the spiritual process, at a new moon, which is masculine. It's very deceptive, right? Because you wouldn't put all that together, I don't think, but the masculine acceptance of self, because also Libra is harmony and balance, and harmony and balance is acceptance of both sides of self, right? And transformation, it's at the equinox. Well, what, protocols change all the time in relation to lots of things, right? That are ingrained in us from birth, that the way that we behave and the way that we act and the way that we live our lives, and those things are basically through this process of twin flame separation, are washed away and worn down like water against a rock, like the tides washing in against rocks and changing the rocks, and it's over time that happens. So there's something like that going on for the masculine. Strength, masculine over feminine, so really strongly coming through you. Feminine ending, masculine over feminine here in the strength card. So it's coming through the feminine. Like we say, it's a doorway. So you're a portal for this energy coming through, basically. Let's go here. Oh, there he is, King of Pentacles. So the masculine made manifest. So through these small, mundane instances, which is everything that happens in your life, is the ending of the process and the masculine walking through the doorway. So you notice the pentacle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, which is all about change as well. And 5, it's like all these different aspects. So it's never just one thing. It's a multi-dimensional and opportunistic kind of process. There's a lot. It's like you clear one thing, and then you're going to clear another thing, another thing, another thing, another thing. So it's just you rotate this around, basically. This work rotates around, and this moon is about this masculine. It's a very down to earth. I have to say, it's a really down to earth energy. It really does feel like the slamming of a car door. Is what they're saying. The slamming of a door. I think I said it with quite a few readings actually lately. But they do repeat things to me, but it's really like this feeling of like enough is enough. It's like feeling like someone's saying I've had enough. I can't go on anymore like this. And that's it. And the final like door closing or slamming open, maybe, but there's a loud bang going on. What's underneath? What's yet unfulfilled, basically. Desire unfulfilled. So the pot can only boil for so long, right, before the lid comes like flying off it, because there's so much steam in there from this desire that's been unmet. And the feminine is like doing whatever it is the feminine has to do, or whenever she has to do it. And, including having once lamented this lost love. And when you think about that, and it's really hard, I know, when you've had to go through that, lamenting what you haven't got, and then you see what the masculine has to go through in terms of what they have to go through in this process, which is basically they're the one that has to break free. They're the one that has to come forward. They're the one that has to actually put a boot outside the door and make a change, The feminine, at the end of the day, whatever you feel and whatever you go through, there's nothing you can change through action. It's only ever through energetic process. So at the end of the day, the masculine has got that much, much stronger like force of will that's got to come through to like make them move themselves into the physical aspect of this relationship. So it's really strong for that, for them coming forward. It's a kick up the arse, they just said, for the masculine in getting them moving this moon. So enough is enough, basically. Let's go one on there. Energetic connection, temperance, from dark to light. So like that's just another sign of it coming through you, that you're going to feel it. I very interestingly had another thing that's happened today, which is I get these really weird things sometimes. So something will happen that sets me off in anger, and then I'll feel myself laughing behind the anger. And I had something happen today that made me really angry. It wasn't the bath mat, it was something else. I've had a couple of things today because it's just that energy. And but I can feel myself laughing. I can see my face laughing behind the anger, which is just palpable. I can feel it in my chest tingling, like, you know, when you really like got the giggles. So that's just interesting. I thought I'd just share that. Right, so because from dark to light, right? So I know that dark, that energy, that anger coming through, it's not me. I'm clearing that, so I'm feeling the anger because of him. Right, underneath we've got moving forward into the physical, which you could call healing, but everything that moves forth into the physical from a separation, twin flame standpoint is a healing, so yes. So we've got desires moving forward into the physical, and then we're going to go here on the form. And we've got the King of Swords, which is a masculine vocabulary. So mastery of speaking, number 4. Mastery of making sounds from the throat, the voice. You might notice something in the throat chakra. Maybe you're getting a cough. Maybe you feel like your throat's tightening up, or anything like that, basically. I quite often get this like cough that won't go away. It sounds like and a sore throat. I've got a sore throat right now, actually. So what do they call it? Relentless cough. It just is like won't go away, and there's nothing wrong with me, you know, to like for a cough to be there. Anyway, so masculine voice coming through, made into form, physical form, and then we've got separation coming out on that. So masculine made manifest again, number 4, mastery. We've got separation that's coming out upside down, right? So take that how you will, and there's always a change in terms of separation. Let's go here, King of Wands, and resting the mind, another 4, or 2 4s, master. We've got a lot of mastery going on in this reading. So it's the masculine mastering itself, the energy mastering itself. So it's being mastered coming through you. Your mastery of your anger is, you know, every time you get angry, if you respond differently to that anger than you did the last time, however differently it is, you know, however much less it is progress, right? So, you know, you're going to get whatever extreme form of anger, and you get an extreme reaction, and then it lessens and it lessens and it lessens. Maybe you're also going to feel the laughter behind the closed door, because the laughter is also a sign from your vibrational self, right? That it's just everything is exactly how it's meant to be, and it's all just a process moving through you, and it's the vibrational self just being happy, basically, because it knows that it's all for a different reason. So, you know, the anger is organized. It's not like these events that make you angry. They're organized. They're not random. It's not an accident. It comes on specific days at specific times for specific reasons, which is quite funny, really, isn't it? You know, you tell that to somebody that doesn't know anything about this, they think you're completely mental, but it's actually true. So, which is also funny, right? Okay, judgment. Love comes from love. So that's basically what their answer is to everything that we just said, is that love comes from love. So from feeling love, which is just feeling less anger, you could say. Any kind of less anger is more love. So there's always, you know, it's like 5 of one, half a dozen of another. And actually, that's really true, because love counts for a lot more than anger. So if you were angry for 10 minutes, that you could say that's 1%. But if you feel love for 10 minutes, you could say that's 99%. So you get a lot more love for your energy, a lot more points for love than you do for anger. So you don't need to ever feel bad about being angry, because you're not losing anything. You're not losing any progress. Because it's also not you, really. So it's not even 1. It's not even a 1%. It's like a 0. And but love is 99.9, if it's not 100, that is. So there we go. That's that. 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords coming out on her. So that's communication coming out, number 1. So that's a brand new beginning, a brand new start coming out on her. state of abundance, which is a state of ultimate knowing as well. So all of this that they're saying, and just knowing that it's just a ride, basically. It might be a roller coaster, but it is a ride nonetheless. And whole life is a circus, you know, and it's just a fun, fair ride, really. So strength, fear. So what is the angry things? They're just fear, right? So my anger at the bath mat is, fear that I'm having to bend down again, because my back sometimes hurts when I bend down. But of course, that's all fear, right? Stuff like that. So there's always fear underlying every kind of anger. The other fear in me having to pick that bath mat up again is just what it brought up as soon as I had to do it was the fact that I'm still in this house, this location that I don't want to be in, and I'm still cleaning the bathroom in this location that I don't want to be in. So actually it wasn't anything to do with the bath mat or the Hoover. It was all about the house that I live in and where I'm at, and my backache, and nothing at all about the cleaning, really. So it's always about fear, and it's, you know, from the biggest to the lowest, from your achy back to the fact that you're living in a place you don't want to live. So that's that. The sun coming out and new love moving forward on that. So that's baby steps in love. Inner child coming out again to play, basically. We've got there. So that's that feeling of laughter as well behind. It's like that inner child laughter. It's like seeing the laughter is like you can see the sun rising, even though it's going to be a beautiful day, even though it's raining. It's kind of that feeling, you know the sun's going to come out and you're going to run outside and play again at some point, and it's just part of the process. And then we've got the lovers, and let's see what comes on that. And then we've got world completion. So whatever you go through at this moon is part of divine love process. It's going to complete after the moon. So that's it, really. So it's just to know that about the moon, basically, and what it's all for. And we can't say for everyone what will happen at the end of that moon. Will the masculine move forward into form? Well, we've got here masculine made into form, and we've got a separation on that. So how much light is coming through the window, basically, at the end of the day? How much have you cleared? How much are you able to see your anger and see through it being actual anger, and see it as fear, and then see it even beyond that to being the process, and beyond that to being the person that you're connected to, living inside of you as part of yourself. So, and the dissolving of everything that is in egoic relation to it, basically, which is also that when you say to yourself, oh, this is never going to happen, or this doesn't exist, or I'm making this up, or this isn't real. So it's also the dissolving of that. And that, when you feel that and say that, is them saying that anyway. So you're also dissolving them say it. So you might be separated from someone, and when you're feeling that, you're actually dissolving them saying to themselves, I can't possibly reach out. It's been a really long time. So it'll come through you as, I just don't believe this is ever going to happen. They're never going to reach out. It's been a really long time. So that's how you're connected as well. You're connected through the mind. So just know that as well. Just be aware and observant of that moves through you. Let's get one more out on this, 10 of Cups. Fruition, 7 of Pentacles. They've been throwing that card out now for the past few months. This is the harvest, which is now. And this is fruition into the physical. So again, just have to wait and see what happens, really. Maybe you're just going to come out the other side feeling a lot better than you do going in. I mean, it could be as simple as that. It might be that you come out with a clean house. You know, we're looking at from the lowest to the highest. You might come out with a physical relationship. Somebody stepping forward. The world works in mysterious ways. So you can't always say. And just, you know, there is no such thing as like, oh, June the 17th, 2000 and whatever, all twin flames will come together. Because I thought that once myself, and actually a few times going back when I used to listen to other people, and it never happens like that. Resistance, basically, is what you're clearing. So once all resistance is cleared, and that resistance is the masculine that lives inside of you, and then relationship will move forward. Then you will move forward into relationship once you've let go of all resistance, and let go of all their resistance that moves through you. And that's that in the timing of that. So I'm just going to leave it at that for this moon. I hope that helps. love yourself, basically. See your ego for what it is. Even if you are an ego and you can't do anything about it, even if you're having a tirade of like ego and feeling, angry at the world, just know that the reason is because it's someone moving through you. Just know that everything will return to love and feeling good once it's moved through. Just know that you are doing your service work for the connection that you have. And just like hold on to the sides as the roller coaster moves up and down through the moon, and the tides return the moon to normal, or the moon returns the tides to normal, whatever. And if anybody wants to get a reading or anything like that, all my details are in the description box below. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.